Hello everyone and welcome back to the GAMRs podcast. I'm your host LJ90 with our E3 wrap-up show. With me I have Ryden.
Hey guys.
I have Lawrence.
Hey everybody.
And you probably noticed this, we have a brand new theme song. We actually got permission to use this one, so this is going to be our official theme song that Lawrence found. Tell everyone who did it, where they can find it. We'll have the links in the descriptions of our YouTube channel and our Podomatic. So, yes, Lawrence, take it away.
All right. Our new, you could say, official theme song for the podcast was a Dr. Wily Mega Man 2 boss theme remix, or, excuse me, Wily's Castle remix, produced by Fingers, spelled F1N3RS. And you can find them over at facebook.com/fingersmusic, fingers spelled the same way. And the song was found over at SoundCloud, so you can find them over at soundcloud.com/fingers. And the song title is called Screw You, Dr. Wily, Fingers Mega Man 2 Remix.
I love it already. I absolutely love it already.
Yeah, I loved his remix of it. I ran into it on a forum when he posted it up for the recent news that came out of E3. And I thought, this is a pretty cool theme. And I asked permission, and he gave it away as long as we give him, the proper credit and the proper links as per usual. But we wouldn't slight him like that, so we're going to put his links in and promote him while we use his theme music.
Yes, definitely. I'm always down to support quality, and this is quality. So, last week we did the pre-E3 show. You're getting a bonus show this week. We normally don't do it every week, but you're actually going to get 3 shows back to back. This one, the one last week, and we might record again next week. We can work that out later, but you're definitely getting a bonus episode today. We're going to run down the major conferences of E3, the major news drops of E3. And we're actually going to start with Nintendo. I wanted to start with Nintendo only because they didn't do the traditional E3 conference. They didn't actually show up, and a lot of people kind of joked at them for skipping out, as it were. But given what they did, I actually think it worked pretty well for them.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think they had to be there.
Right.
They didn't have to be. They have got a presence there. I mean, they have got Nintendo consoles for people to, for those who were there at the show to try and demo the games, etc. But I think what they had to say, they didn't have to be at E3 to say it.
Exactly. This E3 was the main focus of it was the new consoles. And if Nintendo actually showed up there, they'd just be like, hey, these are our new games. They can do that the way they did. I'm sure they saved a lot of money doing it, and they still got all of the press they would have got if they were at E3.
But and the majority of viewers probably couldn't care less if it was a big show, stage show or not, because they're just watching. Right. They want to see the trailers. They want to hear the information. That's it. They're not sitting there watching a show.
Right. So I enjoyed it. Two things I really liked from Nintendo's E3. Smash Brothers, of course, we can get into that a little bit later. But I was actually I was actually really impressed by Super Mario 3D World. Catsuit aside, because I think that's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. I saw something like a catsuit, really? Then I think, wait, one of my favorite suits is the Tanuki suit, and that's equally ridiculous. So I could allow it. But it looked pretty cool. It looked like they're still going with the Super Mario 3D model. They're introducing all the new playable characters. It's Peach, Toad, Luigi, and Mario again?
Believe so. Yeah.
More games where Peach is playable. I like this. No, I'm serious. I do. So, what is it in Super Mario 2, the Doki Doki Panic?
Yeah.
So Peach is kind of broken. She can just float through the whole stage if you time it right. So.
Yeah, I kind of like that they make Peach more playable as well in other Mario games, because it always seems like she's the damsel in distress.
Exactly.
And she's the princess of this mystical kingdom. So it really helps to add more to that. Okay, she really is, she really is able to hold her own in some degree.
Right.
Granted, maybe not as well as like a Mario who can shoot fireballs out of his hand, given the proper power up, but she has her own abilities too. So I like that they elaborate on that a little bit more with the Mario games.
Right, and even though these are just the Mario platformers, we're not going to get too much in the way of a story. Having Peach playable kind of expands that. You can tell a different sort of story, as it were. So I'm always down for that.
But it kind of mixes up the gameplay as well.
Yes, it does.
Playing as the same character all the time, or even just playing as Mario and Luigi, they're so similar. They just feel like playing the same character all the time, almost. So.
Right. Well, I have to give Nintendo props. They've really started to make Mario and Luigi play differently in games where they're together. Luigi has a little bit higher jump, but his controls are he skids more.
He's clumsy.
Yeah, there you go. They highlight that. So.
Okay, yeah.
Then, we also have Nintendo also announced Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I saw this. I was like, wait, they remade Donkey Kong Country? What is this? Apparently, I'm late. This is the third new one they've come out with.
Yes, yeah. This is about the third. What they did was they first did Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii, I believe, or was it the Wii U at the time?
I believe it's the Wii U.
Okay.
I'll look it up right now, actually.
All right. But they had already done Donkey Kong Country Returns, and then they did a Donkey Kong Country Returns 3DS version that came out earlier this year. So This is the third new Donkey Kong Country game that they've released.
And Diddy Kong, or not Diddy Kong, well, Diddy Kong's always been there. Dixie Kong is back. Yes.
Yep, Dixie Kong came back for this one.
She was one of my favorite ones in Donkey Kong Country 2. Just because she plays kind of like Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yep, came out for the Wii, not the Wii U.
The Wii, okay. I was wondering which one it was. I wasn't sure if it came out late enough for the Wii U. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country's been back for at least a little while now.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just about to say, and they've been kind of running with it now that it's back, because it actually was pretty successful when it came out. It was actually very highly praised.
I can imagine. If Nintendo does one thing very well, it's platformers.
Oh, yeah.
And Donkey Kong Country was one of my favorites. So, when I saw this, I see nothing but good things. I'm hoping it does really well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Another big fan favorite that was announced was the Mario Kart 8.
Yes.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people hyping on that. I mean, this is the cool thing about Nintendo. They can announce the same franchise, same kind of titles, and people get excited by them.
Yeah, because
all the time.
They're not oversaturating their titles. Like, yes, this is Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 1 came out, 1990 something?
God, I remember.
Something
I remember.
like
I think I still have it on my Super Nintendo somewhere.
Yeah, when it first came out, I used to go around to the person who lived 2 doors down from me and play around there.
Nice.
Along with their Zelda.
I have to say, there's no quicker way to lose 3 friends than do Mario Kart 64. Just 4 people Battle Royale or 4 people Grand Prix. It's blue shells, man. Just blue shells.
I hate blue shells.
Seriously, the blue shell is the middle finger of the game. Because if you use it, you're in last place. You're not gonna win. So really, it's saying I may not get first, but I know you won't.
Basically, yeah.
Like, at least with the star, you have a chance because it gives you a little speed boost and you're invincible. Blue shell, nope, F you. Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the big laugh I get out of the blue shell. It's like, why would you use it? You're not gonna win the race.
You won't either now. I remember used to play it. The motto was, I won't come in last. That blue shell ensures that you will not come in last.
Yeah. Especially with the blue shell as it is now, it just rips through everybody if it can.
Yes. So, I don't know. I'm excited about that. They're bringing back all the new vehicles they've introduced, the motorcycles, the dirt bikes, the hang gliders. So, yes, I am here for Mario Kart 8. This needs to happen.
I think some people have maybe even waited out on buying a Wii U until these kind of titles have been announced to come out. So hopefully it sees a few more sales of their units, because they could do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that seems to be the trend. Not just with the Wii U, but with the other next-gen consoles too. While they look impressive, a lot of people are just waiting, saying, I can get a little more utility out of my current gen. I'll wait until something that I really want comes out. With this lineup for the Wii U, I can probably justify getting it now. If I get it, Mario Kart 8, easy. Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze.
And with that, this kind of comes in line with there's been a lot of issues with third-party publishers who have said that they will wait till Nintendo sell more units before they put any more games on their console. Now, hopefully, this kind of thing does sell some more units, and they do take on that decision, and then hopefully it makes the Wii U a competitive console.
Right. Well, that's also kind of a catch-22. Third-party games would kind of help Wii U sales, so it's like, I won't help you unless it's proven that it's profitable. But you going there could be very profitable.
Mm-hmm.
But and then Lawrence was saying before we were doing our pre-show chat, Bayonetta 2. And I'm about to bring up the trailer for that now so I can just at least look at it. But the first thing that jumps out at me, she has a brand new design.
Yes. She has a very brand new design. Almost looks nothing like how she looked in Bayonetta, the original, on the PS3 and 360. And in my opinion, with Bayonetta 2, with how the trailer looked and the gameplay and everything worked so well on how Bayonetta 2 looks on the E3 conference, or I should say the E3 Nintendo Direct and the trailers, I think that this could be one of the Wii U's killer apps if it's promoted right. If people who own a Wii U or people who plan on buying a Wii U can appreciate something like a Bayonetta 2. And I don't mean that to be snarky or in a kind of slighting the Nintendo fan base way. But right. I'm just saying it as a standpoint of, do M-rated games sell well on Nintendo consoles?
Hopefully the Wii U is at a point where good games sell well, because Zombie U got rave reviews, and I don't know how well it sold. But every major reviewer that looked at it said, this game is amazing, get this game. But I don't know how well that translated into sales.
I mean, I'd say, whether or not the single unit sales were that good or not, but I know that the console, which came, there was a Zombie U console, wasn't there?
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
The bundle. I think a lot of people bought into that one because you got a lot extra for the money, and I guess Zombie U was a good title to kind of bundling with it, especially for more mature gamers and stuff.
Yeah, I could see that as a thing. It's just the general worry I have with the Nintendo consoles, especially with coming from the Wii under the Wii U now. I mean, granted, this has probably been the plague that follows the guys who develop over at Platinum, but Mad Worlds didn't seem to sell well on the Wii. And RE4, as great of a game as it is, it didn't sell well on the Wii, but that can be labeled as due to brand fatigue to an extent with however many RE4 remakes. So right. It's just a concern, can a brand new mature title sell well on Nintendo's console? And I hope Bayonetta 2 is the game that actually succeeds on that front. Because Bayonetta 2 looks fantastic, and that is the one game where I'm going to sit here with my PS3 and go, I regret not having a Wii U.
Oh, did you see the recent decision from Eidos Montreal and Square Enix on the Wii U exclusive for Deus Ex?
Whoa! Flag on the play. What now?
The Wii U exclusive for Deus Ex, which was the director's cut, is now coming on to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
That sucks for Nintendo.
I actually, when I heard that, I actually kind of felt bad for Nintendo.
And it's being launched on the same day, I believe.
Yeah, the only reason
there's not a delay, so.
Yeah, I think it's all same day release.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I just felt bad for Nintendo was because, for all accounts, you can make the case that people were complaining that we weren't going to get it on the PS3 and 360 as the game as it was. But now that it's coming out, how well is it going to do on the PS3 and 360? It's a director's cut of the same game.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'll be honest. People that are asking for it are probably people that have got the game and probably won't even buy it. They've probably, they've likely got the DLC, and they've got the game, so they're not likely going to be buying it again. So yeah. I don't see it doing that well.
Yeah, what more people were wanting was for them to patch that stuff in, not resell it.
Yeah. And
they went the resell route, and that's going to be a bit of an iffy thing for Eidos and Square Enix to do. I mean, I have Deus Ex Human Revolution, and I saw the director's cut, and I was like, I appreciate the sentiment, but I already have the game and the DLC.
Yeah, same. Same. So I won't be buying it.
Yeah, I probably won't be buying it either, because it's going to be $60 for redone boss fights. For me, basically, it would be $60 for remake boss fights.
That's all it is. It's a kind of change in the balancing, isn't it, with the bosses, and that's the main thing.
Right, since that was, I think, the biggest complaint that Deus Ex had.
It's that, and the DLCs integrated into the story.
Right, actually put in the game with their proper placing and everything.
Yeah. But that's not enough to kind of drag me to buy it again, especially if it was at a full price.
Right, it's not enough to justify another $60 purchase for those who already have the original game. For those who don't, this is perfect.
Yes, but I think it's done its time on these consoles, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
People will probably see the because it's a single player game. People will see the options and think, I can just buy this second hand for a lot cheaper for the standard game and just buy the DLC, and it would probably work out less than buying the director's cut.
Yeah.
Ah, well.
But that's what they decided to do. So
it'll probably be a good move for them, because it's pretty much the same game, minus some retooling. But it just does suck for Nintendo.
Yeah. So what else did Nintendo show off? They did their Pikmin, didn't they? They did Pikmin. Although they've pretty much already shown that off a lot on their previous Direct, I believe.
Yeah, they showed that off in the past, and wasn't really much, I don't believe, added to this demonstration of Pikmin 3.
Mm.
But the big thing that got people talking from Nintendo's conference was the dual, you could say, trailer / announcement of Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS and Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U.
Yes.
Along with a miniature roster confirmation with a set few characters already announced and 3 newcomers confirmed in the same day.
Now, here's maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough when they did the trailers. Will the Wii U and 3DS versions be able to play against each other or with each other? The same way
the
PlayStation All-Stars works with...
And All-Stars, yeah.
I had heard reports that was what they were going to go for. That the 3DS and Wii U versions would have some form of connectivity. And
some kind of cross-play function.
Right. and maybe you'll be able to play with each other on the from 3DS to the Wii U, which is why they're trying to get them both equal in that regard.
And
I was about to say, that said, they did a very nice job on the 3DS version from the trailer.
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course, they confirmed all the old favorites, and we got some new characters. The villager from Animal Crossing. I'm kind of excited about that, actually.
I laughed at how quickly that character became an internet joke. Like, as soon as he was announced, you have the villager in various situations looking like this killer.
Yeah.
With that smiling face, and it's like, oh dear.
They didn't come by with the radishes today. I'll come by with justice tomorrow.
Sonic was in Smash Brothers. Was. I saw that one, and I was dying.
Oh man. The Wii Fit trainer, which when they showed him sitting there like, oh, it's with the fighting polygons from Melee.
And then all of a sudden you see it like, nope, has their own moveset. Yep. It beats you with fitness.
Billy Blanks. 1, 2. Does it encourage you while it's beating your ass? That's what I want to know.
You have to use the Wii Fit to control it.
You know what? I'd be down for that. If I shift my weight, it starts dodging. It can feel when I throw a punch.
Oh wow! Just shift your weight; it registers the dodge mechanic.
Oh man!
Oh man! I got a kick out of seeing the
ultimate smash. You can do it.
I got a weird kick out of seeing the Wii Fit trainer. I actually liked that they went kind of goofy with that one.
Yes, because at its core, Smash Brothers is a game where Mario can beat the crap out of Solid Snake. Reality and seriousness should go out of the window at that point.
Yeah. And then of course the third newcomer, which has been making waves all across the internet and is the reason we have our new theme song to begin with.
Yes.
And that newcomer is the Blue Bomber himself, Mega Man.
How sad is it? I was how sad is it that Smash Brothers has shown Mega Man more love than Capcom?
Ooh.
Like, that's the first thing I thought. I was sitting there like, really? I mean, I'm happy you're in Smash Brothers. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome. Capcom couldn't give you your own game.
I know.
Now, if maybe what'll happen with Mega Man will happen with Marth. Remember the whole Marth debuted in Smash Brothers thing?
Yeah.
Smash Brothers Melee. Melee had Marth. Melee did really well. We get a remake of the original Fire Emblem. And then Radiant Dawn.
And then the rest is history.
Yes. So maybe this will make Capcom realize that Mega Man is popular again.
Yeah, hopefully. And to clarify for those who haven't seen the trailer, the Mega Man that is in Smash Brothers for the 3DS and Wii U is the original Mega Man. The original 1980-something. I think 1987 Mega Man. So, it's not, the box art Mega Man from Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It's not Mega Man X. It's the original Mega Man.
Were you born then, Lawrence?
Burn.
Why do we have to
we did have this chat before.
Why do we have to pick on me because I'm the youngest?
Because you're the youngest? You're a younger brother. You know how this goes.
Mega Man's your older brother.
Now, I actually would have been happier if they had the Mega Man Legends Mega Man in there. That's just my personal favorite one. But the original, I shouldn't say the original, but yes, the Rockman, as it were, is in the game. And I can't be happier. I'm just waiting for the inevitable Buster Gunn versus Samus trailer that we're going to get.
Yeah. Go ahead, Raiden.
I was going to say, now neither of us are Wii U owners.
Well, not yet.
No, I was going to say, is this what you saw at Nintendo Direct? Is that kind of persuaded you to maybe buy into the console?
what I saw from Nintendo Direct was enough for me to justify getting one if I ever decided to get one. Because before I was like, it's a nice console, but it doesn't have anything that I want, so I'm not going to get it because it doesn't have anything that I want. Now it has things that I want. So if I ever decide to get another console, I could easily look at the Wii U and say, it has things that I want. I can get a lot of use out of this.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as well, especially with the in the case of the Smash Brothers for the Wii U. I have a 3DS, so I could probably chance it with the 3DS version. But between the Smash Brothers and Bayonetta 2 and the Mario, and of course, let's not forget Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD got a release date in October. You know, to help kind of push the Wii U along as it comes out against, you know, what is assumed to be the next gen launch window. But we have the Wind Waker HD version. You have, I think, a new Zelda on the 3DS as well.
Yep. Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that supposed to be a direct sequel to A Link to the Past?
I think it might be. Last I heard, it was meant to be A Link to the Past 2, and they renamed it A Link Between Worlds.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm in the same boat. If Nintendo, in my opinion, if you follow Nintendo in any fashion, you know what you're going to get out of a Nintendo console. And what Wii U's problem was, it didn't have that. Now, it kind of has that going with it. Now, the only thing that sucks is that Nintendo kind of has to do this to keep up because the third-party support is dwindling on the Wii U, which is kind of a sad state of affairs, but it probably couldn't be helped. But with that said, Nintendo's doing a very nice job of keeping up with their own first-party support with, like we mentioned, the Mario, the Zelda, Smash Brothers, Bayonetta 2, Pikmin, Platinum's, you know, other game, The Wonderful 101, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, and it's really starting to pick up steam.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, as discussed, I mean, it's kind of what Nintendo do best, really. Same franchises. People pick them up all the time. That's what they want. When they get a Nintendo, that's what they want. Those franchises.
Right. I mean, I've seen people recently complain about how, you know, too many video games nowadays are becoming the Hollywood movie route. You know, so many cutscenes, so many quick time events, so many context-sensitive motions in the game.
And spiraling development budgets as well.
Right, and the development budget's going higher and higher and higher. Nintendo has kept it down to earth. The development budgets probably aren't that big compared to something like, let's say, a Tomb Raider. They don't have a lot of quick time events in their games. They have some cutscenes, but not a whole lot. What they focus on is getting the gameplay and making sure that if it's an 8-hour game, you get at least 7.5 hours of gameplay.
Also, the fact that they make their games fun.
Yeah,
they make their games, you know. Yeah,
that's what I mean. They nail the gameplay part of it, and they make it so that it's fun and it's functional and it works.
They're not always trying to toy on, you know, mature themes and emotions and everything else like a lot of AAA titles are trying to do nowadays. Which when they try and go that route, it's gets a little, you know, they either nail it or they completely screw up and get loads of stick for it.
Yeah. Right. Well, that you could say that's kind of the route Beyond Two Souls is going. I've seen a lot of cutscenes. I've yet to see any gameplay from this game.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, today at E3, last few days at E3, they had gameplay for Beyond Two Souls.
See, I haven't caught up with that yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What they showed at E3 was full gameplay of Beyond Two Souls.
Oh, so that was full gameplay that they showed?
Yes.
During Sony's presser.
Mm-hmm. That was actual gameplay of Beyond Two Souls.
It says something that I couldn't tell that was gameplay. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. But it says something that I couldn't tell that their gameplay was actual gameplay.
The best way I could put it is Quantic Dream. That's how they work.
Valid.
They made
Yes.
Heavy Rain the same style.
Yeah.
Yes. So, are we getting another Heavy Rain style game, or are we getting Burn Notice meets the Bourne Identity?
Probably more of the latter with the style of the former, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like the latter maybe story-wise and how the game operates, but the former in terms of narrative and the actual development techniques behind it. With the facial capturing and, getting the different mocap and the actors and the actresses to do the motion capture and put that into their product.
Right. Okay.
Like Beyond Two Souls is being marketed kind of like a movie would be.
I've noticed that.
Like there was a trailer for Willem Dafoe.
Yes. Yes, there was.
But yeah. That could be, like I said, that's pretty much Quantum Dream's way of doing it. Whereas with Nintendo, it's not trying to reach into the themes and anything that's too you could say like too deep for you or something like that. It's just here's Mario, here's platforms, jump, throw fireballs, Tanuki suit.
Yup.
It's just have fun with it. And to me that also prevents Nintendo from being looked at as pretentious, because some people have that theory of Quantic Dream, that they come off as a pretentious company, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I can see why someone would say that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to defend him. I was like, no. 'Cause Heavy Rain, when Heavy Rain first came out, I was like, wow, this looks really cool. Then my dad got it, and I was like, wow, this is really pretentious.
See, the only reason I would say it is because of how they carry themselves in conferences. Like the whole, we can convey emotions with however many thousands of polygons.
Yeah.
That type of thing. You can convey emotions without them. I mean, there have been games that have made people bawl like children back in the SNES and PS1 era, without thousands upon thousands of polygons.
Well, I mean, what's the game called? The little game, To the Moon. That's called, caused some people to feel a little bit emotional, and that's all in these 8-bit style graphics.
Right. Even a lot of indie.
It's about good storytelling and stuff.
Right, and a lot of indie titles.
If you ever want to see a grown man cry, 2 games on SNES: Earthbound, or the one scene in A Link to the Past where you get the flute. Yep. Let's see, what is it? The Turing test of the internet is you have to watch the Futurama scene with Fry's dog, see if you can cry or not.
Oh man.
I see. I didn't. Does that make me a bad person?
I didn't either, so I'm right there with you, Raiden.
Well, see,
have I lost my soul?
I saw the test first before I saw the episode, so I didn't have context for it. I'm just like, okay, it's a dog waiting. I saw the episode, I was like, oh, holy crap. One single tear. That's all you got.
You were chopping onions at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Chopping onions, yeah, in your living room.
Yep.
But no, that scene in A Link to the Past, it's not a lot of, like you said, it's not a lot of polygons. It's not the most technically advanced thing. It's a kid playing his flute. And, well, you know what? I guess I shouldn't say spoiler alert. The game's been out for 20 years. If you haven't played A Link to the Past by now, then I don't know what to tell you.
There was an SNES version, there was a GBA version, and there's a version on, I believe, the Virtual Channel. You have opportunities.
Yes, you do. So yeah, the kid's just playing his flute. He gives it to you, turns into the tree, and it's just like the birds. It's like, come back, and you're just like, what? No, Zelda's supposed to be a happy game. What is this?
Yeah, I know. Even Ocarina of Time.
Oh God.
The very first dungeon set you up for what this game was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention that when you look at the 7-year time skip after you get the Master Sword for the first time, your first glimpse at what Hyrule becomes after 7 years, it's so jarring and bleak that you can't help but look and go, what on earth happened? And then you realize, Ganon must die.
Oh yeah, I will say, Legend of Zelda does a great job in every incarnation painting Ganon as a villain that needs to die.
Right.
Without all of your conventional tropes of you killed my mother, you destroyed my village. No, you're just pure evil and you've got to die now.
Now, unfortunately, Skyward Sword kind of made a conventional trope area.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is where we can kind of put a spoiler warning, because this involves Skyward Sword, and Skyward Sword is their most recent title. But if I'm not mistaken, Skyward Sword kind of made them tied together by destiny.
Oh.
The Link and Ganon. Like, the end boss of Skyward Sword is pretty much the ancestor to Ganondorf.
Oh.
So what happens is it pretty much ties Link and that being together via destiny. So whenever there's a Link, there's also going to be that... I believe his name was Despair, or something to that effect.
Well, see, I always thought that there wasn't an official timeline for Zelda, so now they're trying to make a timeline?
I believe they've always had some form of a timeline. However, it's never been elaborated on until the Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia came out and it clarified where each game stood in regards to, their placement. But, yeah, it kind of... If I'm not mistaken, Skyward Sword is supposed to be the first game that takes place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the villain's name is Demise when you confront him. His name is Demise, and he's known as the Demon King in the Skyward Sword universe. And when you defeat him, he warns Link that their feud won't end and that his own hatred will manifest itself in another being to pursue domination of the world. And the one with the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero in that cycle without end will be the ones to confront him in his future.
Well.
So, automatically, the being to pursue the domination of the world is Ganon. Blood of the Goddess, Zelda. Spirit of the Hero of Time, Link. Automatically, that tells you that it's meant to be Skyward Sword first, and then it goes the others. Now, I can't remember the rest of the timeline where each one goes, but I do remember Skyward Sword is first.
Well, alright then. Works for me.
Right.
As we move on from Nintendo, Microsoft was the first big console to have their presser, and this has not been a good week for Microsoft.
No, it hasn't. It really hasn't.
And a lot of it is self-inflicted. Like, I'm not... This next portion of the show is not going to be me bashing the Xbox One, because I actually think the Xbox One, from a hardware and technology perspective, is pretty cool.
Now, my opinion, I think Microsoft are very ahead of the game, and I think they're probably too far ahead of the consumer. And,
right.
And this is where some of the problem is, because they are, we're not slowly being edged into this. We are being suddenly forced in. This is the future. That's what you're doing.
Right. Microsoft is becoming Apple in the sense of they're saying, if you want to do things with us, you have to do it our way. If you're not going to do it our way, don't go through us. In response to the news that it has to check in every 24 hours online. Well, someone asked, what about people that don't have a sustainable connection that can do that every day? Their official response is get a 360.
Yeah.
The biggest issue well, actually, it was the biggest issue last time around, when they did the reveal, and that's the PR. The PR has been a complete hash. The whole, they'll do the event, they'll show it off, they'll have the after press events or whatever. As soon as more information and questions start getting asked, or more information comes out via the PR, it just becomes complete hash, a complete load of rubbish, and the losing consumer confidence just because of their strategy with the PRs.
Right.
I think what they showed at E3, their actual showcase was actually very good. It did what they promised. It did focus on the games. It was kind of aimed towards the gamers. The thing that they didn't do was answer all those questions that everyone had beforehand.
Right. And when they finally got around to answering the questions, they did it in the most dickish way possible.
Yes.
Like, the easiest way for Microsoft to get around the whole I don't even want to call it a scandal, because it's not. Their whole DRM policy is to explain why it exists that way in the first place. Microsoft is trying to push their console to be a digital-only console.
Yes.
That's what they want.
And it's very much like the music industry is now.
Yes.
Where people are buying very few physical copies of CDs or whatever, and they're all buying everything digitally. And the same rules apply. You don't own the content of the music. You're not technically allowed to share your music. You can't share it through iTunes as such. You can illegally share via files, but we wouldn't
pirate at your own risk.
Yeah. But but the same kind of rules apply, and when CD was kind of being phased out, I think people and the digital stores were kind of creeping up all over the place. People were a bit wary of that as well. But now it's the norm, and even the things like Spotify, which is streaming the music at your own will. That's what Microsoft are aiming for.
Exactly. If they explain it that way, they would not be having the horrible week that they're having. Because if you look at it from that perspective and that perspective alone, it makes perfect sense. This is the only way they can accomplish that.
Yeah, and they're very well prepared for when that transit. Because it's pretty inevitable that is going to be the transition for the future.
Right.
Like with technology, like with all other media technology nowadays, it's all flowing that way. And they are very well prepared for it. They've got. I can't remember how many. Is it 300,000 servers or something ready to do all their handle all their online stuff? So they've got plenty behind them to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to get the consumer confidence to actually take the bait and use it. And what they're saying isn't drawing anyone in.
Right. I personally can agree with what both of you are saying in that this is them thinking too far ahead in the future, but also with some of the things on the Xbox One, I feel I have to disagree, because in some cases it doesn't even feel like so much the future, it feels unnecessary. For instance, the whole the beating a dead horse, but the whole TV concept, you can watch TV while you have your console on current gen. It's called take your controller, go to input, and go to component. Why do I need to have my cable box connected to my Xbox One to make it so I can watch TV?
I actually have an answer to that.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I actually have an answer to that. This problem exists because of the PS3.
Okay.
PS3 gave you Hulu Plus and Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten to the point where most people that have next-gen consoles, it hasn't gotten to that point yet, but people like me are slowly starting to think, why do I need cable if I have all of this and I don't watch that much live television?
Well,
I have no reason for cable. Microsoft and Sony are trying to creep in on that market. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, you really don't need cable. You can watch TV through us. All you really need is an internet service provider. Yep. Which is why Sony and Verizon leaped at the opportunity to work with each other, because Verizon gets that too. Verizon realizes, if I'm going to lose my market share, I want to lose it to someone I'm partnering with so I can at least make some of that back.
And like you, I have I don't have Netflix downloaded, but I use a similar program, Love Film. It's a similar app on both my Xbox and my PS3. And I use the Sky app, which we have over here. And that's pretty much all the television I watch. I just watch it through my console. I don't go. I've got Sky down. I've got satellite Sky downstairs, and I don't ever use it. I watch everything through my console.
Okay.
Right. So that's a little too forward for the current gen because, like you said, most people looking at it like, I can do this now. Why do I need it? Crunchyroll, Neon Alley, which is amazing, by the way. Neon Alley is amazing. If you haven't checked it out yet, you need to.
Yeah. I don't know if we can get that here.
Oh, really? It's regional?
We can get Crunchyroll.
Oh man! Ever since Verizon took away the Funimation channel from me, Neon Alley is the new hotness.
I got Funimation channel on demand, but
yeah, well, look at you, hoity-toity, Mister. I got Mr. Funimation on demand.
No, but the thing is, right
You're
now,
gonna be angry face right now.
The thing is, right now it's on a loop of Tenchi in Tokyo. So,
see, they took it away from the cable pack. Like I have the most basic cable package. The only thing I said, I need my local channels. I need ESPN for sports. Whatever gets me that, I'll take.
Okay, and another thing is, people are saying they want their consoles to compete with PCs, right? This is what PCs are doing now.
Yes.
People are buying their content digitally, mostly through places like Steam, where it's all controlled DRM, etc. They're using their PC to watch films, to stream, to listen to music. They're using it as an entertainment console.
My thing is funny enough, over the years, I've grown more and more accepting of the digital future, so-called, because I understand that that's where things are going. Things are looking to be more digital, less hands-on, and I've grown to be more just, okay, I'll let it happen. With the Xbox One, though, it seems like with the whole idea with the console, it's not so much that that's the problem. It's that they took the advantages of the PC, and they also took the disadvantages of the PC as well.
Yeah.
Like the whole DRM setup and everything.
But I could kind of put it this way. On the day of launch, you can have a choice of, if you had a choice, just the Xbox One or a gaming PC. I mean, okay, the thing with the gaming PC is actually you can upgrade things like the hard drive and everything else, which they don't allow on the Xbox One.
Whoa.
But
I cannot upgrade my hard drive on the Xbox One.
No, you can use an external hard drive, but you can't upgrade your internal hard drive.
Someone way smarter than me on Twitter said Microsoft is becoming the new Apple with the Xbox One. They are really becoming the new Apple. Wow, that's incredibly arrogant and okay.
But you can buy something which has equal, what is supposed to be equal power or more power than some of the high-end gaming rigs, for a fraction of the price.
I'm sure they will let you buy something. I'm sure they will. They will let you buy a Microsoft Xbox One external hard drive.
Yeah.
That is 3 times the cost of a terabyte hard drive.
It'd be 3 times the cost of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that it's only coming with I think it's a 500 gig.
Yeah.
Because of technology nowadays, you'd think that they would put in at least a terabyte.
Absolutely.
And this goes the same for the Sony console, because I believe that's again a 500.
Yes.
Why when you can get an external hard drive, which is so small that fits 2 terabytes worth of data in it, can they not fit that kind of thing into integrate that kind of thing into a console system?
They can. They don't want to because they want you to buy their stuff. Again,
yeah.
It's the exact same thing Apple does.
Yes.
And Apple isn't doing too bad for themselves lately.
we'll take for example the Mac. The Mac computers. You can't really easily. You can't change those components easily.
Not at all.
They cost you an absolute fortune. They run really nice, but even software, you're very restricted as to where you can buy it and what you can buy.
By the way, as far as Apple goes, the older Macs, Apple has their model set up for, I believe, the newest operating system won't work on a machine that's 2 cycles old. And the new updates for all the programs won't work on OSs past a certain point. So they're forcing you to turn in your old Mac that you probably spent $1,000 on to buy the new one about every 2-3 years.
Wow.
Apple has this down to a science. They embed you so deeply within their ecosystem that you can't get out of it.
And when you come to the Microsoft PCs, the Windows PCs, you could kind of comfortably still use an XP system if you wanted to, and it's still being supported up until next year, I believe.
Yes, next year is the last year that service packs and security patches stop coming out for XP.
Yep. The one thing I want to say with the 500 gigabyte hard drive thing for both next-gen consoles is, to me, the 500 gigabyte starting hard drive area is similar to the 40-60 gig PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so.
It's the start of it.
Yeah, and they could get bigger.
And it could
in
easily
later
get
models.
bigger. Especially when you consider that games now are coming up to the 10 to 20 gigabyte range. Tekken Tag Tournament, I keep saying this as an example. Tekken Tag Tournament is 17 gigabytes. Metal Gear Solid 4 has to be upwards in the 20 to 30 gigabyte range for them not to be able to do a 360 version. Dynasty Warriors 8 is a 19 gigabyte game where if you buy it on disc, it's an 11 gigabyte install.
I think this is kind of why they're trying to push the cloud gaming side of it in, which is also why the thing with wanting that they are trying to be so far into the future that a lot of people can't handle that kind of that thing, because they're not receiving internet speeds which can stably stream a game across, seamlessly stream a game in real time without God knows how much lag. I mean, I tried using OnLive before, and that was a failure and a half. I've checked, my internet speeds here. They can drop between, they normally balance between 0.85 megabytes and about 2.
Okay.
I'm actually getting an upgrade in 2 weeks, which will take me to about 40 megabytes per sec.
Wow.
So I'm going to fiber optic, but not everyone can afford to do that, and we've got such an old infrastructure here. A lot of people aren't geared to deal with that kind of to deal with a lot of downloads and whatever from the from internet and stuff.
Yeah. I think I can see that with the cloud servers that you mentioned, like partially installing it on the console and save some of the data on the cloud. Valid, but like you said, not everyone is also going to have the online infrastructure, the online connectivity, to have that go with them and work feasibly with them all the time.
Right. But like I said, I mean, the infrastructure is being improved, and before we know it, the fiber optic is probably going to be the norm, but it's not there yet. So again, this is why Microsoft are a little bit ahead of where the consumer is right now.
I'll put it this way. There's a good chunk of North Florida, South Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee that will not be able to get the Xbox One because the network infrastructure is that bad.
They've actually said that for optimum performance, you'd want a minimum of 1.5 megabytes per second.
You've alienated about all of most of Southeast United States.
Now someone tried to justify it by saying that the average was much higher, but that kind of gets skewed by the fiber
population
optic,
density.
yeah, the fiber optic and high speed broadband, which is that much more in advance that
Yes.
It will skew the average.
yeah.
So basically, what they're saying is, for optimum performance, move to New York. Oh.
And
Yes, move to one of the most population dense
Right.
areas in the United States. And I don't even know about the infrastructure in other countries, but the way Microsoft is going now, they're region locking themselves.
Right, they are region locking, and you can only use Xbox One and register. You can only use games on Xbox One if you're in an Xbox One supported Xbox Live country.
Yes.
Wait.
And there is a list of countries here.
Are you serious?
If you're not in any of these countries, you can't use the console. You can't. I believe it kind of goes with your IP. So
That is so stupid.
So you are not able to, if you import the console, and even if you, I believe even if you have, I import from America and I have an American Xbox Live account, I believe it will take your IP address for where you actually are, and you won't be able to access register your game. The places that are covered are Australia, Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and United States. Now, so that pretty much covers Europe, Russia, and America.
So basically, you have to be in one of those countries, or the Xbox One is pretty much non-workable.
It's not going to work. So people that are in Africa, Middle East, Japan, China.
They said they're not even going to release it in Japan for at least a year.
There's no point releasing it in Japan.
I know. The 360 barely sold 1 million in its life cycle in Japan. Why release the Xbox One?
One of the big problems is if they don't tap into the market, they're going to have the same thing as what they had at the tail end of this generation, where Japanese developers are making all their games solely, where they were kind of split and they did put stuff out for the Xbox. They're going to be just solely focusing on the PlayStation 4, their home console.
Why are
so this, when it comes to a decision making for myself, because I like my Japanese games. I like things like the RPGs from Japan. I like
Atelier, the Desgaia.
Yeah. And then when you come to things like maybe when it comes to companies like Tecmo Koei, you probably have the Tecmo titles which will release on an Xbox console. However, you probably won't get your Koei style titles on there because they're very Japanese market focused. So.
Mm-hmm. And also, you might have to take into account, in regards to even that list of countries that the console can be sold in, Germany looks at the Xbox One, and I quote, as a twisted nightmare because of the Kinect.
There are a few things which actually breach. I believe they breach EU laws with regards to privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not they get addressed before they get released, before it gets released over here, I don't know. I'm sure they have to go through the legal system to actually be able to sell it.
Right.
That, or they'll go through another lawsuit in these countries. I mean, Germany had that big lawsuit with them before, but that was to do with the Motorola and patents and crap.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
This is gonna be fun. Okay. And again, a bulk of this can, I don't want to say be avoided, but it can at least be mitigated by them explaining why. But they're not.
The other thing is, on here, I'm just trying to see. Connect sensor for Xbox One and periodic system software updates required for continued use. So this, I think it's that is requiring the 24-hour thing. So for continued use, you need to update your console with that respect. Some games not transferable and have no resale value. Restrictions on games usage applies. Games, Connect, and accessories made for Xbox 360 or original Xbox will not work on Xbox One. Now, I can see that as being fair. I mean, there were peripherals that were on the PlayStation 2 that you couldn't use on PlayStation 3. So, if you're going to be making the advance onto another console, then you can accept that. And the same thing kind of comes with backwards compatibility. I mean, although I would love to have backwards compatibility, making the transition is like moving from your VHS to your DVD player. That's just the way that things are moving. You must accept the Xbox terms of use, including Xbox software terms and game license terms, Microsoft Service Agreement, and Xbox 1 year limited warranty. Now, this 1 year limited warranty thing, and it says that you must accept. I wonder if this, because there's supposed to be something about, terms include binding arbitration with class action waiver to resolve disputes. So you can't take class action against them.
Right.
So I guess after a year, if your console suffers something similar to this red ring of death, you've got no legal stance against them.
This
is how I'm I am reading it. Then it may not be quite like that, but that's how I'm reading it here.
I don't know what they're doing with this console. I mean, I don't get it.
They're trying to lock you in their ecosystem. They're for what it's worth, they're doing a very good job at constructing a Microsoft Xbox Live ecosystem.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're trying to make it so once you're in there, you're not getting out anytime soon, and it's going to be very costly for you to get out. And so we'll see where it goes.
I mean, I'll be interested to know from people who do adopt it on day one or in the early stages, as to how they're finding the system, and because we may be making a lot of fuss about something which isn't that big an issue when you've actually got the console.
Right.
I mean, it's easy to kind of take these points and cast negative effects on it, but negative words and stuff. But when the console's actually released, maybe things will be different. Maybe they'll change some policies, or address some consumer concerns even in the period between now and the release date. There's still time. So
yeah. I'll give Microsoft this credit. When they came to their E3 conference, they did what they had to do. They came out there and showed nothing but games and games and games and games and games and games and games. And that was pretty much their whole conference.
And they were pretty impressive. So
yeah, they were impressive, except for one really awkward moment during the Killer Instinct demo.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
Oh yeah.
I wish he didn't say that.
No, I mean, the problem with that, it's so identifiably scripted.
They said it's unscripted. They said there was no script.
They said it's unscripted.
Yeah,
I know. The way that it flows and the way that they're talking, it's scripted.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll even go as far to say the words may not have been scripted. They wanted to create that visual. That specific visual was their intent. That's what they wanted you to see.
Yeah. It was either the words are unscripted and the guy went off the cuff, or the words were scripted and whoever scripted that demo is to blame for that mess.
Yeah. They could probably say it's if they class it as saying it's unscripted, then doesn't get the company in trouble. It's just, oh yeah, he said it was accidental.
Yeah, and he didn't mean anything by it, so we just sweep it under the rug. And and personally, I know this might sound like sound Yeah.
Well, before we get into it, for anyone listening that doesn't know what happened,
Oh yeah. Okay.
during Microsoft's demo of the new Killer Instinct, they brought on the producer of the game, along with the fight stick. He was using the fight stick for the game, and their community manager, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
One of their community managers. And the community manager, you could tell she's just someone that loves the game. She's not that skilled, but she has a love of Killer Instinct.
She's either not that skilled or she was forced to not look that skilled.
Well, yeah. Or you're up against the guy that made the game. I'm pretty sure there's only a handful of people that could actually give the guy that produced the game some competition in his game. That'd be pretty sad. I produced the game and I can get my ass kicked by anyone in my company.
Well,
no,
some people,
I'm not having that.
Some game designers are like that because they produce the game but they can't play it. It's
F
one
that.
of those things.
If I'm making Tekken, I'm going to be the best damn Tekken player in the world. No one will beat me because every day I'd have to walk down the street. Hey, you made Tekken? Yeah, but you suck at it, though. I couldn't live with that. But getting back to the demo, so they're playing. She just has, the brand new Xbox controller. Well, I'll get into that later, but so they're just playing the game, and he's clearly dominating her. And his remarks while they're playing get really weird.
Yeah, while they're playing, he's playing as Jago. I believe she's using Saberwolf. Yeah. He's doing combos left and right. She's outright at the point where she can't do anything.
Yeah, and she got combo locked.
Yeah,
she got combo locked. Why I stopped playing Killer Instinct. It's so easy to comp. Like once you get going, put the stick down. You're not gonna get out of it.
Yeah. But
I've seen some videos of the E3 show floor and Ryan Hart. He's a fighting player, and he was pulling off 100 combos and such.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing Dead or Alive doesn't get enough credit for. The engine behind the game. Yes, it rewards you for knowing how to play the game and how to pull off combos. It rewards you even more if you understand the flow of the fight and how to counter and understanding how your fighter works. You can never get locked. If you're good enough, you'll never get locked in Dead or Alive.
Right.
But no, back to the demo. Yeah, she's being dominated, and he just starts saying stuff like, "Yeah, how do you like that? Don't worry, it'll be over soon. Yeah, take that." And it's just like,
yeah, he pretty much goes into uncomfortable dialogue where it hits the point of they're going back and forth, and he utters the line verbatim, and I'm quoting from him, so don't take these as my words, all listeners. He goes out while he's beating her in the game. He goes, "Shh, just let it happen. Just let it happen. It'll be over soon. Just let it happen." And when I heard that, I immediately cringed because I know people will write that off as normal trash talk. And for some people it is. Even if it was two guys, for some people that's like normal trash talk. The problem is that's not something that should even come to your mind on a public forum like E3 when you're representing your company, showing off a new game.
The thing is, not everyone watching is a fighting game player or lover, so they don't
exactly.
So they won't get the fighting game trash
lingo.
Talk. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest. When I'm with my friends and we're playing like Madden, Call of Duty, or whatever, and we're trash talking each other, keep in mind these are people that I've known since high school. So we can joke around like that with each other in the comfort of our own home. That's cool. Not even in public. If I'm doing an online match and it's with someone that I don't know, I'm not going to talk that level of trash to someone that I don't know because I don't have that comfort zone with them. I'm just going to be like, all right, cool, good game, whatever. That the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To make that kind of stuff at E3, it was just weird. And like Lauren said, you cringed. I was just like, nah, that didn't just happen. That didn't just happen.
I was hoping I heard wrong when I heard that line. And it's not even so much that I was personally offended by it. It was more so of, you didn't just say that. You didn't just say that line while you're representing your company for this new game.
Yeah, see for me, I mean, during that point, I wasn't really paying full attention, so I didn't really hear it in full and never heard it in that context. So it kind of went over my head. It was only when I saw it in the media the next day, and people getting on their high horse about something that was said during that bit, and I was like, I don't remember that, that being said. But yeah, I've rewatched it since, and it does kind of come across that way.
Yeah, it really sticks out. Really sticks out to me on that one, because when I heard it, because I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh boy. I knew that was going to be a problem as soon as he said it.
Yeah, it was just weird. And anyways, but yes, other than that really weird moment, Xbox had a pretty good E3. They showed off the new hardware, the new controller, and is that the new thing now? We're gonna do what is she wearing with the consoles and the controllers? Is that really what? Everyone was like, oh, it looks so nice. Look at the angles. I'm like, it's a box.
Well, to be honest, there wasn't a massive difference between what the PlayStation looked like and the Xbox. I mean,
there isn't, and I'm okay with that. They're boxes.
Someone's put it in picture form using fonts, and they said one's bold and one's italic.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, is the console looks like a console. It's good.
Yeah.
The problem. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just about to say the problem with the Xbox One's design for me is it didn't look like a console. It looked like a VCR.
It does. Yeah. It still does look like an old an old kind of VCR, or even one of those early TV recording boxes, the hard drive boxes that you used to get.
Yeah. The only difference in the design of the Xbox One and PS4, it looks like you can stand the PS4 up on its side.
Yeah. Yeah, which is for me right now. That's what I would have to do because I've got all of my consoles standing vertically.
So, and I guess we can use. What were you gonna say, Lawrence?
I was about to say on the Xbox conference, we're going back to how they showed game after game after game. We touched on the subject of it from the demo that we were just going over, but what did you all think of the new Killer Instinct? I need to hear what you guys thought about it.
It reminded me why I stopped playing Killer Instinct in the first place.
No,
granted, you have to keep in mind I'm terrible at fighting games, so yeah. It looked nice. It was nice to see Killer Instinct back, but
pretty much my view. It looked pretty cool. It looked fast paced, but for me, it's not really a console seller, even if it is an exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminded me too much of Street Fighter 4. I hate to say.
There was that in the visual tone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct had more of a, you could say, gothic type of look to it. I mean, Saberwolf looked legitimately badass, back in the SNES versions. Now he just looks like a rabid rat. He doesn't look like the Saberwolf I know, and I'm kind of like, what did they do to you?
What did you think?
Mm-hmm.
Just carry on.
I was about to say, what did they do to Saberwolf, and why is Jago all muscular?
Hilarious.
What did you guys think of Hideo Kojima opening with Metal Gear 5? Because that covers a bit of a surprise because of he's never usually tied with the Microsoft consoles. He's usually tied in with the Japanese side, the PlayStation console. So it was quite different.
Microsoft is desperately trying to show the world that they will have Japanese developed games on their systems, even though people in Japan can't get the console.
I think it was smart of Kojima. For the main reason being that because of him doing the thing on Microsoft's conference, Metal Gear Solid 5 started E3.
Yes.
It was the first thing shown, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. Did the very beginning of that because that was the cut trailer, because they've done a director's cut trailer, haven't they? Which is an extended scene at the beginning, which is quite disturbing.
Oh yeah.
the very beginning just reminded me of Red Dead Redemption, just next gen Red Dead Redemption.
You want to hear a mind-blowing fact?
What?
What we saw at E3 was apparently current gen.
Ha!
I have read on the instant through Twitter and stuff that it's Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to look better than the trailer. So I didn't look any further into it, so I wasn't too sure. But it looked very nice.
Yep,
if that's current gen, that's what they can push the current gen to do.
According to an interview with Kojima said he used the highest end current gen technology to show the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer at E3, and he's looking to push the 360 and the PS3 to its limit before this gen's end. So what we saw from Metal Gear Solid 5 was current gen.
He can push the PS3 to its limit, but if he's going to push the Xbox 360 to its limit, then he's going to have to release any games on maybe 5 discs.
Who knows? Maybe that's why Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain are 2 different things. 2 discs.
2 discs each.
Yeah. But, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 starting E3, I think it was also smart of Kojima. Kojima's also always been Western-minded. In his development strategies and how he went about things. And also, to me, this was a callback to, I believe the year was 2008, 2009, where Metal Gear Rising was unveiled first on the 360.
Yes.
So this is kind of old hat for Kojima that he's revealed a Metal Gear game on an Xbox console. But it also kind of plays back into it where, he showed Metal Gear Solid Rising first on an Xbox console and then clarified multi-platform. He showed Metal Gear Solid 5 on the Microsoft conference, and because of that, Metal Gear Solid 5 was the very first game we saw to kick off E3.
Yeah.
So to me, it's more of a marketing positioning, you could say. Position himself so that was the first thing you saw at E3, and then everything else... you saw what you came to see.
Well, the trailer did have me wowed, so...
Yeah. The trailer was amazing, especially with it actually being gameplay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was. And it was nice. They sped everything up to just show the transition in time quickly, from point to point, and show off as many of the little features in the game as they could. Or that's some of the little features that are going into the game. The improved tactical espionage.
Mm-hmm. With the weather changing and the
weather changes, real time.
The transportation, different types of transportation between a horse and a tank. Real, like you said, real passage of time, and all of these little details that they added into Metal Gear Solid 5. I am absolutely looking forward to it.
Same. Now, apart from that, what kind of stole the Microsoft show for you, game-wise?
This is where my problem with Microsoft comes in. Mm-hmm. I said earlier that they did what they needed to do.
Yep.
The problem is they did what they needed to do, and that was it. To me.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really wow me with anything. They did what they needed to do in that they showed game for a solid, I think, hour and a half.
Yes.
But there wasn't really anything on the Microsoft booth or the Microsoft conference that, aside from Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's multi-platform, that wowed me to the point of, this is a game that I need to own. I mean, I saw Killer Instinct. Nostalgia kicked in for a brief second. And I was like, wow, Killer Instinct is back. And then I see it, and I immediately got turned off by it. I didn't like the new Killer Instinct look. The closest game that may have done it for me was Titanfall.
I was just about to say, Titanfall looks nice. World of Tanks looks nice.
Yeah.
I'm not buying an Xbox One for it, but they look nice. They look fun.
Yeah.
I liked the look of that Rise game. However, the very beginning...
you mean Warriors of Troy for Xbox One?
Yeah. The beginning, did that remind you of the very first level in in the first Call of Duty, or
Yes.
or
Yes,
Medal
it
of
is the very
Allied
first
Assault.
level of the first Call of Duty.
Medal of Honor Allied Assault, the very first level where it was just set in a different time period.
That's exactly what it was. I don't know if anyone follows my actual Twitter account. One of the first things I said two things back to back. I was like, wow, it's the first level of Allied Assault.
Yeah.
Wow, it's Warriors of Troy.
Yeah. It looked nice, but I get that game wouldn't sell it. Wouldn't sell the console to me. Dead Rising 3, however, did look very good.
I'm zombied out.
I'm torn on Dead Rising 3, to be honest.
I'm zombied out, man. I'm done. Walking Dead.
Walking Dead 400 days.
I'm getting 400 days, like I said.
But that's DLC. That's extra for what you've already got. So
yeah, Walking Dead I can do because that's actually great storytelling behind it.
Well, that Walking Dead is great storytelling behind it.
Well, yeah, the other one doesn't exist. But yeah, I'm zombied out. I'm done.
My thing with Dead Rising is I didn't like how it looked. It looked pretty. I'm not going to say it didn't look graphically impressive. It looked nice. I like how it looked on that front. I didn't like the aesthetic. It looked too... I don't want to say it looked too gray, but it looked too gray.
I remember very gray.
I remember
gray is the new brown.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Dead Rising... From what I remember of 1 and 2, I never played them, so this might be a little incorrect from assumption. But from what I've
colorful.
Oh yeah, I've seen a ton of color in Dead Rising 1 and 2. Dead Rising 1 took place in this mall. Dead Rising 2 took place in also I think an amusement park.
But you can get the Lego heads from Mega Man Legends.
But then again, you can you got games like Deus Ex, which are very yellow.
Yeah, this is true. But it just bugs me to that extent because I see Dead Rising 1 and 2. It looks colorful. It looks kind of cheery. It looks kind of fun. The aesthetic kind of drew you in.
Maybe it's a case that they didn't show enough. They didn't show. They didn't kind of cut it and take you to a different area. Maybe that would have shown that different. That different setting that you maybe want is with a bit more color and whatever. The fact that they showed it, the fact that they showed it just there, in this very grey and dreary town setting.
I would hope so because it didn't. It was impressive, but at the same time, meh.
It didn't sell the console to me. That was again another. It was one of their exclusives which didn't sell it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed games, they showed nice games, but nothing that will convince you to buy an Xbox One.
No.
And again, this isn't us saying Xbox One is whack. Xbox One is actually pretty dope.
Yep.
I'm just not... I think I stated this on a show before. There's nothing on the Xbox One that will motivate me to get it.
There's nothing on the Xbox One that's not coming out on the PS4 that would make me want to get it.
Right. The two show stealers... after the conference was Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts will be on Xbox One.
Yeah. Now, one game that I do love that Microsoft do is Forza. Now, I don't know if you guys are racing game fans or anything like that, no. But Forza is one racing game that I really love, and I love it more than I do Gran Turismo.
Really?
Yes. The thing I love about Forza is it's very much you can just jump straight into the game.
Okay.
With Gran Turismo, they still have that feature where you have to do your licenses and everything else, which in the first couple of games was quite novel, but after that it just bored the hell out of me. I didn't want to do them every single game. I wanted
Sorry.
And when I got Forza, it literally chucked you straight in. You had a choice of car. You got given a budget. You had a choice of car. And then put straight into the game, and that was it. No messing around with having to score this rank on a license or anything like that before you can progress.
You used to be able to do that with Gran Turismo. They recently, I believe, in Gran Turismo 4 or 5, I want to say, they took out what was known as the arcade mode to make room for the full-on simulation mode.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was one of those two that took it out. But
Yeah.
you used to have an arcade mode in Gran Turismo, and I think the licenses have become less of a focal point.
But they have see because they got the arcade mode in Forza, but the actual campaign mode, which is the simulation mode, doesn't have that system. So you literally just jump in and play. You do what you bought the game to do. Just jump in and have some races and get straight onto the tracks and stuff, instead of having to mess around with take this corner in this way and do this in this time and whatever else.
Yeah, I get you.
I mean, I did find them fun when I got Gran Turismo 1 and Gran Turismo 2, and kind of got put off it when I got Gran Turismo 3. I did them, but it kind of the novel wore off.
Right.
It's like I've done this all before. I don't want to do it again.
Right. I get you.
When Driver, the very first Driver game, you had that at the very beginning. You had to do those tests, and then Driver 2 came out, and I believe they did the same thing. You had to complete some tests before you start, and again that just wound me up.
Yeah, what they could have done was make what's it called? A save file transfer. There you go. A save file transfer between them. That way, if you did the licensing on this game,
yeah,
it would transfer to the next game and all that. So,
yeah.
One of the things also from the Xbox One front, from their conferences in general, that kind of stuck out to me was, aside from Titanfall and the Killer Instinct, was that new game. I think it was called Quantum Break.
Yes. the doctor, the woman that's frozen in that rift or whatever it is, the time rift thing.
Yeah.
She reminded me so much of Lian Xing in Siphon Filter. If you've ever played Siphon Filter, as soon as I saw her, I was like, shit. That's her.
Wow. I get you. I want to see where they go with Quantum Break and see what direction they're going with it. I just hope they don't focus too much on the whole, TV connection thing.
Yeah. Well, that's done by Remedy. They did Alan Wake, I believe, and I liked Alan Wake. I thought that was brilliant.
Right.
I'm quite interested to see where that goes. I mean, it may not be a console seller to me, but if when I eventually get a Xbox One console, I'd likely pick that one up.
Yeah. See, my thing with the Xbox One is, even with, let's say even if they had killer apps on their console, the whole concept of the console does not sit well with me.
Right.
Yeah.
From a principle standpoint, I don't feel comfortable with the console. Between the Kinect thing and the DRM with the game sharing and locking the game into accounts, and Microsoft.
I think one of the big things is the fact that because you've got a choice, you can go for that or not go for that.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And because you have a choice, people are in droves opting out of the Xbox One, especially with Microsoft's abandoning of the indie devs. That got me actually kind of depressed.
Well,
it's not totally abandoning. They have got they will support independent development, but they have to be backed. So the development is independent in itself, but that kind of defeats the point of an indie title, doesn't it? In some cases, part of the indie thing is that they're doing it themselves. Their development, they're doing it themselves, and they can publish it themselves. That's what makes it indie. The fact that they are still playing the Minecraft card as being an independent game, I can no longer class Minecraft as being an independent game. I think they've now they're quite established themselves. They've not really churned out anything else. Any other small code projects, they've literally just done that, and that's
Yeah.
I mean, they have got other things in the works, but
Right now
sure,
it's just that.
Yeah.
And as we sort of transition into Sony, I thought it was funny after Microsoft's conference and everyone was still on the high of
unanswered questions.
I don't even want to say the high of unanswered questions. They were just like, oh my god, games, they look great.
Yeah.
Sony has to knock it out of the park. I'm sitting there like, Sony doesn't have to do anything other than just be Sony and it'll work. Lo and behold.
Well, okay, you say that. They tried that back with the PS3 when that
was...
Well,
no. That was then. I'm saying now they can do that because Microsoft had all these lingering questions. All they really had to do was just say, as Lawrence pointed out, just say, no DRM, here's Versus 13. Kind of as a joke. I remember you were joking when you said that.
I said that as a joke, where I think it was, the tweet was basically, Sony has to go up there and say, no DRM. I think I even said the price. I said no DRM.
And you guessed the price exactly right.
$399 versus 13. And then just do, for any wrestling fan out there, do CM Punk pipe bomb, drop the mic.
No, Lawrence, I'm pretty sure we were discussing prices, and I mentioned about the fact that, you know, Versus 13 will probably be shown on our pre-3 episode.
Yes.
What we were saying there, most of that actually come about, so...
Right, yeah. And I remember even talking with someone else as well, that I was joked on another thing that I was doing where we were just talking about E3, just me and two other people. We were talking a bit about E3, what we were going to expect from it and everything. And I pretty much said from Sony's that all they need to do, I said the same thing, all they need to do is go there, no DRM, and show Versus.
Yep.
And I was going off the rumor that there was rumors of Versus, there was rumors of Kingdom Hearts 3,
yep.
And I said, all they need to do is show both of those at their conference and it's done.
Yep.
And there you go.
I mean, okay, they're not exclusives. That's, you know, that kind of got established after the Sony conference, not during.
Right.
But the fact that they're not exclusives doesn't hurt Sony.
Nope.
Right.
At all.
I mean, if people, I will look at it like this. If people are going to give Microsoft credit for Metal Gear Solid 5, I will give Sony all the credit in the world for Versus and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Some people dislike the, although it was pretty inevitable, as we were discussing, that it was going to be Final Fantasy 15 and not Versus 13 still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People were quite upset by that. Wow. Because it's, and especially those in Japan. The thing with the people, a lot of the concepts that are used in that game and the world itself is actually based on Tokyo, and a lot of the things are real things that are in Tokyo. I read an article on Kotaku earlier, and there were a lot of Japanese gamers who were put off by the fact that Final Fantasy was no longer a fantasy in that, because everything they see every day, like a lot of the stuff they see every day. So
they got guys walking around. They got guys walking around in capes
and aircrafts.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But no, I kind of get that. It's not a fantasy world.
Yeah, there was apparently too much that was too close to home, so it no longer had that fantasy for them. Whereas before, the Final Fantasy games kind of took concepts from places like Europe and more exotic locations, and for the Japanese, that was an exotic, that was a fantasy location. It didn't feel like home. Whereas this time they've taken home concepts and it just feels off.
I don't know. I actually like the route they're going with Versus, I should say, or Versus 13 now, FF15.
Well, we would, because we're not, we don't have that connection.
Right. Okay. I can understand. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was actually really impressed with what Sony had to offer, not just versus the Final Fantasy 15, not just Kingdom Hearts 3. And I have questions. I wish Michelle was here, because I have questions. Because something happens at the end of Dream Drop Distance that's kind of invalidated by the trailer they just showed.
Right.
Yes, I'm aware of what you're thinking of.
Okay, hold on. So we all know what happens at the end of Dream Drop Distance. Do we?
I do. I don't have the game, but I've seen it because it was way out of my time to get it. So.
Write it. Do you care if we spoil it for you?
No.
Okay, so spoiler alert for the whole Kingdom Hearts franchise. You may want to skip ahead about 5 minutes.
If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you'll. I mean, I like, you know, I played the first 2 games, but when it came to anything that come afterwards, I didn't. So.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. If you're a fan of the games and you've played them, you can listen in. If you haven't finished Dream Drop Distance yet and you plan on it, skip ahead about 10 minutes. All right. How does Sora get his Keyblade back?
I have absolutely no idea.
Now, when he washes up on the beach at the beginning of that trailer, it's on the beach. He picks it up there.
Right, and I did notice it's a different design than his usual Keyblade. So are they gonna do the bleach thing? You're a substitute Keyblade. I've always said Kingdom Hearts copies Full Metal Alchemist and Bleach to a T.
Now, the thing I noticed with the Keyblade that he picks up is it looks similar to Master, I want to pronounce Ericus?
Yes.
Ericus?
That's what I noticed too.
I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. But it looks similar to his Keyblade.
Maybe it is.
Maybe, because you see it, Sora picks it up, you kind of see the handle of it.
Yeah.
And it matches
you see the handle
design.
and you see the black blade of it.
Yeah, and it matches his.
Because the whole thing that happens at the end of 3, he fails his master test. So he loses his Keyblade.
Right.
So you know, but it kind of jumps in at that point. So there's probably a lot of scenery that happens, you know, a cutscene or something that happens before that, and it'll probably explain absolutely everything to you.
Maybe,
we'll
yeah.
see.
They'll probably have to tie it in.
Right. Apologies for everyone that I may have spoiled on Twitter when I was live tweeting it. I was just like, how does Sora get his Keyblade back? I had a few people mention me like, he loses it? I was like, crap.
Nope, I lied.
So, but I was excited about that. I'm sad we didn't get any gameplay, but that scene of that flood of shadows just coming at Sora.
I thought that was gameplay.
Yeah, so did I.
No, I'm saying we didn't actually see it. We didn't see combat. We saw that was gameplay, but we didn't see Sora in action.
Yeah.
And the way the system got overhauled in Dream Drop Distance, I can only imagine how that's going to look on next gen.
Yeah.
You're making me regret not picking up Dream Drop Distance right now.
Like the combat in Dream Drop Distance, think of every crazy fight scene in Advent Children. You can do that now.
Oh God. Okay. I'm gonna have to think about this one then.
Like one of the moves is you jump on a lamppost, you swing around it, bounce off of it. If there's a wall, you can combo off the wall into something else. It's madness.
Wow. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to give a good long think about Dream Drop Distance because I had not gotten it because I had more console obligations to get than on a handheld, but Dream Drop Distance, unlike the others, is more directly tied to the next Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
That much I know for a fact. So I'd probably have to get it just to understand Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, well, I think it's like $20 now. But the two things that Sony did that I don't think people realize how big they were, the self-publishing indie titles, as we just said, that's huge. If you are an indie studio, you can self-publish on the PS3.
Absolutely.
And they demonstrated that quite well. You know, they had a few games on show at the same, all playing at the same time.
See, funny you mentioned that. One of the games they demoed, which is why indie companies are so important in today's ecosystem, the team that did Bastion debuted, Transistor?
Yes, I believe so.
It took until Sony's conference. No, I take it back. EA beat them to it with Mirror's Edge 2. But Microsoft went their whole conference without having a game with a female lead in it.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. It felt kind of a slight, and I do understand that.
So that's kind of, I know it seems like a minor thing, but in 2013, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Those were things that made me happy. And Beyond Two Souls, like I said, I got that weird, is this a game or is this an interactive? Now, here's the thing. I'm aware of my own hypocrisy in this one. I love The Walking Dead, which is little more than an interactive comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy Rain is little more than an interactive movie. But I really can't stand Heavy Rain because it takes itself way more seriously than it should.
Now, did you also play? You guys had it as Indigo Prophecy, didn't you? The what we had as Fahrenheit.
Yes.
I never got a chance to play it, but if I had, I would have. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't like Heavy Rain. And Beyond Two Souls looks like one of those things where it looks great. If I ever get my hands on it, I'm probably going to hate it. Which sucks because it looks amazing.
Yeah. Just let me see here. Okay, I'm looking at the list of indie games that were shown at E3 by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And the list goes Don't Starve by Kilai, Galaxy Z by 17-Bit, Mercenary Kings by Tribute Games,
Yes.
Octodad, Dadliest Catch by Young Horses, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, New and Tasty by Oddworld Inhabitants, which is pretty much the
Yes, it's the HD overhaul of the very first game, and it looks fantastic.
It looked brilliant. It looked phenomenal. I saw it in motion, and I was stunned at how nice it looked.
Mm-hmm. Nostalgia really kicks in too.
See, that's how you do nostalgia. They overhauled the system, but they kept it the same core game.
Like with the Stranger's Wrath, they did.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was between Oddworld Inhabitants, Blue Point Games, and Square. I'm having a hard time figuring out who does better HD remakes. I mean, Oddworld Inhabitants nailed it twice by even overhauling the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Square's Kingdom Hearts HD remix.
Oh, they're beautiful.
It's fantastic. And
well,
you
HD remix and what if you've seen the stuff from the Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Oh man, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD look fantastic. They look almost current gen.
Well,
yes.
Here's what's funny. My favorite remake from Square is not an HD remake.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite remake from Square is Final Fantasy Tactics.
War of the Lions.
Yes.
Now, that recently got a HD overhaul by the iOS
Yes.
team.
Yes, on iPad it got an HD overhaul.
Yes.
And I think, did they give them a new storyline as well, or just an HD overhaul? I was trying to...
Basically, if you had the game,
Yeah.
there was an update to your game, and it completely changed all the graphics and textures on the game.
Yes.
And it looks really really nice.
I've said this before, I'll say it again. Final Fantasy Tactics, the story behind it, is better than Game of Thrones. I'm not saying that to slight Game of Thrones. I'm saying that's how good Final Fantasy Tactics is.
Is there as much sex and betrayal?
Betrayal, yes.
Well, I was about to argue with Game of Thrones, considering recent happenings.
Yeah, we won't go into that though.
Yeah, I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but Twitter was enough.
Oh yeah,
Well, I didn't actually watch that episode until I didn't get around to watching it until maybe 5 days after it aired here. Lucky enough, I avoided spoilers.
Oh, nice.
I'm really good at that. It's like the Microsoft conference. I was at work when it's finishing work when it started, and driving home. By the time I got home, there was maybe about 20 minutes of it left, so I didn't end up watching it until an hour after, and I watched it from the start. I managed to look at the internet and avoid all those spoilers. I don't know how I do it. I can just become ignorant of the internet, I guess.
Well played.
So, but yeah, recent happenings, I think.
I don't know, man. There's some huge WTF moments in Tactics until like the last 3 battles, but as we said before, we were joking around saying all that they would say no DRM. Who was it? It wasn't Jack Trenton. Yes, it was Jack Trenton. He was sitting there like,
Yes.
you can play the games as they are. And then everyone's just like, Sony.
It's his smirky grin when he was saying it, you know.
He
was like, yeah, I'm onto a winner.
And pardon my language here, he had the biggest shit-eating grin.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, I take it that's a good thing.
Yeah.
No.
He was such a douche with it. And then Sony, right after that, comes out with this video on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
How to share used...
The biggest troll ever.
How to share used games on the PS4. Step 1. Share the game.
He hands in the game. Thanks.
Yeah, for those who have not seen that video, you have to check it out. It is worth checking out just for how much of a troll it is, and how relevant it is to the current scope of gaming. Yeah, and your interests. I mean, it's amazing how Microsoft can do that one misstep with the Xbox One with used games, and all Sony has to do is say, we support used games. You won the generation.
And you know what's funny? EA made this huge fuss because I guess EA was going off of the patents that we went over, a couple months ago.
Yes.
EA said, we're not doing online passes anymore because EA is assuming the console will handle the DRM. Now EA gets put in this hilarious situation where they have to say, okay, no online passes except for PS4.
Now,
which isn't going to win them any fans.
But the thing is, Sony have said that the publishers do have the right to do that still, so it's not going to be any different to what it is today. So they have the right to do that if they want.
Which is fine. That's actually how I think it should work. The publisher should handle the DRM. The console shouldn't. I get why the publishers want the console to have it, because then the publishers can get away with saying we don't have DRM.
Mm-hmm.
There's one little difference in regards to how passes and stuff are going to work this gen, or excuse me, the PS4 generation, and it's that Sony themselves have gone on record as saying that their first-party titles will also not have any sort of restriction, online pass, or DRM. So instead of before where we had a title like Ascension had an online pass, Uncharted 3 had an online pass, there's no more of that. Sony titles will no longer have online passes or DRM. So now,
however, you will have to buy PlayStation Plus to access multiplayer components,
and that's the DRM. That is how they're doing DRM.
But I think you are getting your money's worth for what you pay, because you're still going to be given the access to the instant game collection on the PS3, the PlayStation Vita, and the PS4 for one subscription price.
Right.
I finally came around on PlayStation Plus. The only reason I got it initially was when Mass Effect 3 came out. I knew I was going to be bouncing between where I am now and other places because I was doing a lot of training at the time and I couldn't just be here all the time. So I wanted to take advantage of their cloud storage service. I love PlayStation Plus. Instant game collection.
As soon as I subscribed, I was hooked. And even if I haven't got the space to download it, I always make the purchase.
Just so you can have the option of downloading it later.
Yep.
To me, I don't even view PS Plus as a DRM system. It's no different than what Microsoft was doing with the 360 and the Xbox One. You get charged a subscription fee.
It's not a DRM system. And the bonus is the free-to-play games aren't going to require PlayStation Plus to run.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I disagree when you say it's not a DRM system. Like, DRM at its core is a mechanism to ensure that what you bought is valid.
But see, the reason why I wouldn't call it a DRM is it's a subscription service to an online system.
Yeah, that they're using to validate that what you bought is valid. It's not an intrusive DRM system, and it's not a bad DRM system.
And it's not it's not actually tied to the game itself either.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is just because it works and it's good and it's not tied to the game itself, it's still that's their mechanism of enforcing you can't pirate.
No, because you can. It doesn't prevent the games from, obviously being pirated.
Yeah, you don't have to stick in a license for the game or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just tied. It's a subscription tied to your account that you have to pay like a subscription fee to go under. That's it.
But I can imagine that the PlayStation Plus infrastructure has a mechanism in it that we probably aren't aware of that could check to see if a game is valid.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe,
But then they are supporting used games and lending.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Used games are fine because those are valid copies. I'm not talking about used games. I'm talking about looted games. Illegitimate copies. Right?
No, but the thing is, I don't think they've even found a way to make illegitimate PS3 titles.
Well,
yeah. That's the thing. Sony so far has had nothing to worry about pirating Blu-ray games. Blu-ray itself is reportedly a monster to crack, and luckily no one's done it.
Well, maybe that's why it's so their stance is as lax as it is, because they realize they don't need it this generation.
But Xbox One is going to Blu-ray discs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Xbox One is also trying to push a digital library.
But so is Sony.
But Sony's not trying to force a digital library. That's the difference. Xbox One is trying to force the digital library.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because that's the direction they want to go. This is giving you, the PlayStation is giving you the option to access. Now the thing with that streamed cloud library, they haven't actually said whether or not there will be an additional fee for accessing it, because there could be an additional fee to Gaikai for accessing the library of games, and it does tie in with when they revealed the PlayStation 4, and we were discussing about the fact that they didn't say it was backwards compatible, but it was backwards something or other.
That's probably what they were alluding to. Because the first thing they said was play PlayStation Classics on Gaikai. So
yeah. But I believe it's supposed to have PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 titles. I don't know whether they will be region specific, so whether or not we'll get some games which weren't released over here that were released over in America for PlayStation 1 and 2 and things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully it's a universal library, and we can access those and get to play some of the stuff that we never got to touch before.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully we get it. I guess since we did this for Xbox, you guys think about what games really stood out to you. I have to say, my geek out moment of the Sony conference was Watch Dogs, because I always looked at it like, okay, this is cool, I'm probably going to get it. Actually seeing it in action, what got me wasn't everything leading up to, finding the guy, being able to listen on everyone's conversations. What got me was when the cops pulled him over. And he
blew the lights.
He pulled out his phone and just said, "What would you like to do?" I'm sitting there like, what? He blacked out the city, Arkham Asylum, everyone around him in the dark, and sped away. I was sitting there like, day one.
Yeah.
Damn one.
Watch Dogs.
Batman's in heaven.
I'm sitting there like, this is Batman. He just Batmaned them all.
I know.
So I was already going to get Watch Dogs, but I was probably going to get it maybe a month or two after it dropped. No, day one. I got to get it day one now.
Yeah, I view Watch Dogs as a day one must get so far from it already, from what I've seen of it, especially on the Sony conference.
Is Watch Dogs next gen exclusive, or will it be current gen as well?
Cross gen, yeah. It'll be current gen as well.
Done.
So you can either get it on the PS3 and 360, or you can wait on PS4, Xbox One.
Well,
I don't think they're going to deliver you any more content on the next gen. I think you're just going to have the upscaled graphics and everything like that.
Actually, the PS4 version will have an hour of exclusive gameplay.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
They did say an hour of exclusive gameplay.
Yes.
I have to say though, everything that the console showed me that I'm probably not going to get one until 2015, 2016. Yeah. And that's not to say that they're bad consoles. It's to say I can get a lot more out of my current generation, and you're not locking me out of it yet.
Yeah, see, my brother's birthday is coming up next month.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah, so he already pre-ordered a PS4.
I pre-ordered a PS4 after watching that conference.
Bastards, make me get one now.
and one of the things was the price that the PS4 is at was the price I paid last January for my PS3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, what stood out to you guys at Sony's conference?
Ooh. For me, ignoring the obvious, Versus and Kingdom Hearts 3, because my jaw was on the floor for both those trailers back to back.
I don't think I've ever been that excited about Vaporware before.
Well, there's Half-Life 3.
Oh.
Yeah, I went there. But in the whole Sony conference, ignoring Versus and Kingdom Hearts 3, I think the game that really made my jaw drop was Infamous Second Son.
Yo.
I mean, it looked like a nice step up from Infamous 2. They gave your new character some new powers, and seeing those powers in action and what he can do with those powers.
He's Nightcrawler and Human Torch. How is this not amazing?
Exactly.
He boomed behind someone, put his hand on fire, and slammed them into the ground. I was like, yes.
Dude, yes. He went through an air vent.
Yes.
He turned into smoke and went through an air vent. From that one, I looked, I was like, sold.
And can I just say, has anyone had a quicker come up than Troy Baker?
Oh my God, Troy Baker is
he is killing it right now. What was it? A couple years ago, he was one of the main characters in Code Geass on Adult Swim, anime staple, Kanji Tatsumi, and now he's supporting character.
Yeah.
And he's the new Nolan North. I think that's the joke. Troy Baker.
I said that. Yeah, I said that earlier. Who said something about him being?
That was me.
Yeah, it was you.
Yeah.
and my backlash was he's the new the vocal slut or something, the new Nolan North.
Yeah.
Because what was it? 2 years ago, absolutely everything had Nolan North in it.
Yeah, and now
everything.
Yep, and now everything has Troy Baker to the same degree. I mean, he voiced Pain in Naruto, so every Naruto game will have his voice from this point forward, as long as it features Pain to some degree. And also, if it features Yamato to some degree, it'll have his voice, because he does both voices. He's right. Mitsunari Ishida in Sengoku Basara. He's, for, the upcoming games, he's Joel in The Last of Us. He's the new Joker in Arkham Origins.
Yes.
He's Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Wait.
I'm not
Troy Baker's is Troy Baker Joker or Batman?
Yes, Joker.
Joker. Roger Craig Smith is Batman.
I'm not going to complain about him doing the Joker, because Hamill said that
I couldn't
that was
tell
his
that
last.
Wasn't Mark.
Yeah. See, Hamill said that was on the previous one that was the last he was doing for the Joker, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then DC Universe Online comes out with Joker exclusive DLC, which made me laugh. The day he announced that, they said, "Oh, by the way, Joker DLC, we need you to come back to the studio." But I couldn't tell that wasn't Mark. I thought Troy was Batman.
No.
So,
no.
Wow.
Roger Craig Smith, or as you would know him more, Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
Is Batman. Joker is Troy Baker.
So Chris Redfield has gone to his logical conclusion.
Yes, basically. He got over Jill. Now he's stalking city streets at night.
So,
but yeah, Troy Baker is just he's killing it right now with the voice acting gig. I mean, if you hear his voice in the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer for Ocelot, I was so lost. I was like, who is this guy? No, it can't be the original Ocelot voice, because it sounds younger. And then I look up, and then Kojima posts Troy Baker, the voice and actor for Ocelot.
Yeah, with the picture of him standing next to him.
Yeah, and I was like, you're kidding. And I look, I'm like, he nailed Ocelot. he nailed the perfect midpoint of the young Ocelot from 3 and the older Ocelot from MGS1.
Yeah.
And I just look at him like, you know what? Perfect. And I hear his Joker voice. Perfect. I can't say enough about Troy Baker right now. He's fantastic as a voice actor. He's the new Nolan North right now. He's in everything. And you know what? You can't complain about it.
No. He's in everything, and he just does it so well.
Yeah. He nails it with every role. I mean, it's something where you can't recognize him from Pain to Yamato to Mitsunari to Ocelot to Joker to Joel.
He's a different voice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He takes it as an art form, and it's amazing. Yeah. What Ryan? What stood out to you at Sony's conference? And then we can sort of wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean, there was the obvious Sony one, not Sony, Squeenix ones. I can't even say what company they're. Yes, the other Squeenix ones. I'm quite intrigued by that. The Order 1886. That looked quite interesting.
Yes, it did.
Whether or not it'd be like a Dishonored kind of game, because it had that steampunk setting. And you can tell it's going to be a shooter, but whether or not it's a first person, third person, or what. But I was quite intrigued by that trailer to find out some more about that one. What else did I really like? I like the fact that the Elder Scrolls Online was coming to
yes.
PlayStation. And also, I pointed out to you, Justin, the you tweeted it out actually. The thing about what's it called? DC Universe Online. That's
yes.
PlayStation 4, accessibility, and Final Fantasy 14 is also getting PlayStation 4 access, which I'm going to be a Final Fantasy 14 player, so that pleases me.
Next show, you're going to have to convince me to get on the Final Fantasy 14 beta when it comes to PS3. I just need a push, and I trust your opinion, so I'm hoping you'll steer me in the correct direction. If this is an MMO for me,
I'm hoping to. I want to try it on the PlayStation because it's got a different interface to what the PC version has.
Right.
So I want to get a feel for that interface before I can obviously opinionate on whether it's nice to use on that interface, because sometimes it's not quite the same when you go, the transition from console to PC. Sometimes it's a pleasant experience on one and a not so pleasant experience on the other. So, and I think this is the third phase of the beta, so there will be a little bit more content available. I think you start off in a different area to where the other phase of the beta have been. Okay. And I've done some of the other tests, and I've quite enjoyed a lot of the changes that they've put in place. But under their strict rules, I can't discuss them.
That's fair enough. I don't want specifics. I just want to know if I'll enjoy the MMO.
The other thing that intrigued me as to what it will actually be like was the Mad Max game. See, I like Mad Max. I think Mad Max is really cool.
See, I like Mad Max too. Not enough for a game, and definitely not enough to show it at E3.
But I don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be just a racer? If so, that's. Although, again, the kind of movie license thing never usually pans out quite the same way as hoped. Not always quite as an enjoyable experience as the nostalgia of watching the films.
Right.
Trying to think what else. The Killzone looked very nice as well.
Yes, it did. Now, what did you guys think of Destiny?
And that was going to be my next point. Destiny.
We right here. We're right here.
Yep.
See, Destiny. The really cool thing about Destiny was, at the very beginning, where the second player literally dropped into the game.
Yes.
You see that dropship coming across, and
Yeah.
then that's the other player. That was very cool. I mean, visually it looks stunning, and I'm sure the Bungie team have pulled out an awesome game. I'd actually want to play this more than Halo 5 or whatever it may be.
Really?
I kind of got put off. I mean, it may be because I haven't given it I haven't given Halo a try since ODST, which put me off. I liked 1 to 3, played ODST, and just didn't get on with that, and just stopped playing Halo. So I never tried Reach, and I didn't try Halo 4. But Destiny looks nice and fresh. It doesn't look like Halo, so it's something new.
See, here's my only issue with Destiny, and I don't know if this was more of a reflection on the people playing it or the system itself. The combat looked really
Call of Duty.
Yeah. And I couldn't tell if that was... It looked a lot better when they were all fighting what looked like the raid boss.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was just the two guys at the beginning. Because... they were terrible.
Yes.
Who takes point with a sniper right... I'm okay. I'm okay. But, no, Destiny looks great.
It may be one that I'd want to try out before buying.
Definitely.
No, hopefully, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One both have a try system, so you can sample sections of the game, or the standard demo system. But it'd be nice to try at least a timed portion or a sample of the games before buying, especially where I'm pretty sure the prices are going to be steep.
Right.
Maybe maybe higher than what other gen consoles have been on their initial pricing.
Right.
Alright.
Aside from the the big three conferences, I have to actually give EA credit for its conference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, EA's conference was surprisingly good. I mean, granted, the sports thing, not everyone's going to be into the sports thing. And
before it started, I was expecting Ubisoft to be the top player.
Yeah.
Because of how they've been recently. Almost every one of their titles was just so dark. Apart from Rayman.
I couldn't get into Ubisoft's conference at all. I mean...
There was nothing really that fresh and new. Watch Dogs has been shown at Sony. Assassin's Creed 4 was Assassin's Creed.
And I didn't even like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I'm going to go on record as saying it. I'm not fond of it.
Here's the thing. I looked at it and said, wow, this looks cool. But serious question. How is this different from Assassin's Creed 3?
To me, I felt that as well. It's not much different than the previous installment. But
it's kind of having that Revelations feel to it. The Revelations after playing Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, and then playing Revelations, and you find out you just doesn't really seem that much of it, much of an advance over the previous.
Yeah, but not only did I feel that from it, but I also, my experience with Assassin's Creed as it is, I've seen 1, 2, Brotherhood Revelations, and 3 all played. My brothers played them all. I've played them here and there. I've dabbled in them. I shouldn't see a quality decline. It went 1, 2 and up. Brotherhood was the peak, and then it plateaued. Revelations was a little buggy at points. It was a little glitchy, but it was workable. It was all right. And then Assassin's Creed 3 launched was a broken mess. Freezing, physics not working properly, falling through maps, missions not operating as they should, them not registering as complete.
I think it's all to do with this annual release thing, and therefore not giving themselves time, a good time frame to. When I went to a preview event for Assassin's Creed 3, they were working on it for 2 years, maybe more, because they were working on it when. Oh no, literally finished Brotherhood and they started working on it, but then some of the team moved from Assassin's Creed 3 development onto Revelations, and then they jumped back in to finish off Assassin's Creed 3.
Right.
But maybe because of the scale of the game, that wasn't obviously enough time. So they'd have to change, their strategy and not do that annual release thing. And annual releases bore the hell out of me.
I agree, and it annoyed me when I see. Assassin's Creed 3, they announced the Tyranny of George Washington DLC. They announced that they get it set. I'm like, okay, cool. Tyranny of George Washington DLC. This ought to be good. Wait a second. Why are they showing a trailer of Assassin's Creed 4? Why am I seeing TV spots for Assassin's Creed 4 when the Tyranny of George Washington just started? Why are you already inundating me with your next game when I didn't even start the DLC? You know what? Do your thing, Ubisoft. And from that point on, I just feel so burned out of the AC series. I feel burned out and I feel burned. Because AC3 launched as a complete mess in comparison to what was 1, 2, Brotherhood, and by comparison, Revelations. I shouldn't need to count 100 glitches that need to be fixed in the patch notes.
As well as the obvious Watch Dogs, which, that's a definite must-buy. The other one that I do want to get from Ubisoft is Splinter Cell. I like the Splinter Cell games, and I like the although some people didn't like the kind of change in direction with Conviction, I did, and this is kind of taking that similar step with this one, with the new Splinter Cell game. But that's another one that I actually want to pick up.
Right.
But EA did pretty much steal the show. I mean, Mirror's Edge 2.
Oh man, that's all you need to say. That's all you need to say.
And they didn't.
And I'm
they
happy.
didn't try to force changes. It looks how a sequel should look. It is true to its core mechanics.
It's supposed to be a prequel.
I'm cool with that. Just give it. Just give me the game.
Even so, it's another Mirror's Edge game is what I want.
Yep. Like I said, I'm cool with it. Just give me the game. Just give it to me. Just give me Mirror's Edge, and I'm happy. I played Mirror's Edge 1. Easily one of the most overlooked games that I've played in a while, and probably one of the most fun game experiences I've had in a game. I felt that the first-person parkour thing should have really taken off better than it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mirror's Edge 2 made me happy.
And then the thing, Battlefield 4. The thing I find with Battlefield 4 is it doesn't seem like Battlefield 4. It seems like Battlefield 3. 2.
Yeah, I wasn't blown away with Battlefield 4, to be honest.
The kind of the style, the marketing, the fact that they use the same sounds and everything, it just it doesn't sound like it's like the next part of Battlefield 3, and that's.
Yeah, I mean their commander mode was kind of cool. Being able to stream it online while commanding your squad and then getting bonus points for them following your commands and everything, that's kind of cool. But it didn't wow me. It didn't do anything that made me go, oh, Battlefield 4 is going to, look like this, is going to look like a phenomenal title that surpasses Battlefield 3 in every way. I'm not, I think I may be burned out on the FPS thing and that I might need something different, but Battlefield 4 just did not wow me. I mean, it has skyscrapers falling down around you while the multiplayer is going on. it felt like unnecessary hubris. I just couldn't really get into the Battlefield 4 demo when they showed it. I liked the commander mode, but
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Commander mode looks cool, but beyond that, I'm just.
Oh, I just remembered. Other than that, Battlefront. Although obviously nothing was really shown, but the fact that they've got that on.
Yeah,
I love Battlefront.
Same here. I'm so glad we're probably going to get another Battlefront soon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was one of those games where I would pick it up on my PS2 and I would just sit there and play against the bots for hours on end. Like that was just me personally. I would just sit there on my PS2 and be like, okay, just set up this map, do this thing, and
I used to do the same thing. Because although that was, I think Battlefront, was it 1 or 2 that was one of the earlier games with the net connection with the PS2. I didn't have the internet at the time, so I didn't have that option. The only other option was playing with my brother on a split screen.
I think Battlefront 1 may have had the internet connection. Battlefront 2 had it as well, but Battlefront 1 I think had it first.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so fun. And now we're getting a second one, and I can't wait to see what DICE is going to do with it. Yeah. And I also like that they announced, I think this really just came out as news, that DICE said that EA said the company that is making the new Battlefront, is DICE in Sweden. So it's the same studio that is doing Mirror's Edge and Battlefield 4. Yes. They're handling Battlefront, not the LA branch that was opened up for Star Wars titles. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do with Battlefront. And they've also stated that the reason they didn't put a number 3 at the end of the title is it's going to be DICE's interpretation of Battlefront. They're going to do the familiar things of Battlefront, things that you'll recognize and stuff like that.
I think enough times passed, they don't need to give it a sequel, a number sequel, because they can relaunch it afresh.
Yeah.
There's many people in this generation that may not have ever had the chance to play Battlefront.
Oh, absolutely. That's very feasible. I mean, Battlefront 2 is going on 8 years. It came out November 1st of 2005 and October 31st, 2005 in Europe. So it's going on 8 years of no actual sequel to Battlefront 2. You had the PSP games and everything, but how much do those really count for, to be honest?
Yeah, I did buy Battlefront 2 on PSP.
Yeah, but they also had Elite Squadron and Renegade Squadron, which I'm not sure how those were, those are viewed as in terms of the Battlefront series. But in comparison to Battlefronts 1 and 2, which were the big ones, this is your first one in 8 years. Kind of like Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005, 2006. And between that, we've had Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, and the HD remake. Now we have Kingdom Hearts 3. So Battlefront. I am really psyched to see where they go with this, especially knowing that it's DICE in Sweden that's doing it, and not not the new branch. It's actually going to be the ones who do Battlefield taking care of this one. But and EA really did well with their presentation. The only one that I really had to laugh at, and Justin, you'll probably know where I'm coming from with this, I had to laugh at the NBA Live presentation.
Oh my god! What?
Now, see, I didn't actually watch the EA presentation. Because I was working at the time, and I wasn't. I was kind of catching up on the Microsoft. EA started, and then I watched Game of Thrones, and then I missed that and Ubisoft, so I basically jumped in and watched all the trailers that I could from the presentation. So I don't do sports games, so I missed all the sports stuff.
Okay.
The NBA Live 14 showed me two things. One, 2K14 didn't have to, that 2K14's demo was LeBron James talking to his digital counterpart, and that was infinitely better than EA Live 14. We're going to have dribbling physics where the ball leaves your hand.
Yeah.
Really, Kyrie Irving? This is what you're doing now. You are the future of the NBA, and this is what you've reduced yourself to.
Yeah, I know.
When you said dribbling physics, I thought you meant dribbling from the mouth for a second. Then
hilarious.
I know. I didn't get that was their whole focus for NBA Live 14.
You can dribble like me. I'm crossing people up. Meanwhile, I put in 2K13. I'm doing behind the back, between my legs, hesitation moves, and the physics look great.
Yeah.
But
what do I know?
I know. But hey, Justin. Release and return.
Oh my god. I felt so bad for Kyrie Irving. Has it bad enough. He plays in Cleveland.
I know. And he had to come up there and do that presentation. I was like, no.
I felt like I was watching a small part of his soul die.
Oh, man. Release and return. I looked, I'm like, really, EA? You really went all out on this, huh?
And in a couple months, we'll hear EA Live was canceled. NBA Live 14 was canceled.
I guess we can confirm that it took them this long to make NBA Live 14 because they had to make sure the ball bounced.
Oh my god! I guess that's why. What is it for Madden 14-25? Whatever it's called, is it 14 or 25?
25.
Didn't they contract out a dev team that 2K Sports uses to build it?
I think so.
I will bring that up because I remember reading something about that. Either they did it or they were thinking of doing it. I was like, and this is why.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to. I just see. Oh my god.
The title of this episode should be E3 Release and Return.
Yes.
Oh man.
We've had a blast this episode. You get the extent. Not only is it a bonus episode, it's an extended cut. We went well over 2 hours. So enjoy it. Brand new theme song. I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about just about everything right now. As per usual, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter @WeAreGamers, follow us on Tumblr, gamers.tumblr.com.
Like the vid, subscribe to our channel, favorite the vid.
And Podomatic if you just want the audio. We upload the podcast to YouTube as well, more as like an archive of episodes we've done in the past. So if you want to go back and listen to our interviews with Kyle Hebert or Neil Kaplan, they're right up on YouTube. Easy for you to get to.
Right. Just go through our channel, scroll through them, wade through the trailers and the other episodes, and you'll find them somewhere deep buried in the earlier portions of the podcast.
You can see all our other crap in there too.
Yes.
And I believe Raiden has a series up with Tomb Raider and Bleach Soul Resurrection.
Yep.
Nice.
And I will be doing some more. I've actually got some exclusives lined up as well.
Oh, nice.
So, look forward to those.
Right. And also in the future, be on the lookout on our podcast and keep on listening because might be a few surprises in the coming weeks.
Definitely. As always, you want to stay tuned. We always try to give you guys new and exciting stuff to go with the shows. So who knows? Maybe we'll have something new and exciting coming up in the coming weeks.
Things are in motion, we can say.
Yes, things are in motion. But that's going to do it for us today. Again, check out all of our channels. Check out Fingers. And we will see you guys next go-round. I don't know if we record next week or the week after, but we'll see you then. Take care, everyone.
Right. And for everyone who wants to get the full version of our new theme song, all the links to the artist who produced the remix of the Dr. Wily theme will be in the description of the YouTube video and I believe the Podomatic release. So For those of you who want to catch that, it'll be there. And to everyone who has been listening, take care.